So I log into Black Desert Online for the first time, ready to embark on an epic adventure. Right? Wrong. It doesn't take long before I stumble across this node management system, and everything goes out the window. What's up with these nodes, I wonder? Yeah, a quick Google search later, type out some questions, and I find out it's just a way to earn some in-game gold. Okay, interesting. I like earning money, so I keep reading. Someone explains, a lot of players set up a worker empire and amass hundreds of millions of gold that way. Oh no. This is bad. The inevitable happens. Before the game even explains how the system works, I'm knee-deep in spreadsheets and numbers trying to figure it all out. I hire a worker, let's call him human worker number 5 because nothing is more dignifying. Welcome to the team, buddy. And I assign them to this quaint little potato farm. It turns out, when I do so, they produce about 30 potatoes every 96 minutes. That's some pretty fast growth. And these potatoes are selling on the market for 840 gold each, which means I'm making, 23,000 gold per task? And that's, do some math, 245 gold per minute. For a new player like myself, that doesn't seem like a bad profit. But I couldn't just stop there. So I explore some more, wander around the game, and next I invest in this imp cave node and start to mine some copper. Now that's a slower process, so it takes 138 minutes per task, and each batch only makes around 28 ore. Sell those on the market, that's about 20,000 gold. Not amazing, but wait. Occasionally, these nodes can drop a powder of flame. Ooh, exciting. And those sell for a whopping 6,300 gold. And one time, I got 5. So my profits were like 60,000 gold. Interesting. So naturally, I start tracking them in my spreadsheets. Then over here, there's this corn farm, and this one's got 2 nodes, which has a similar output to potatoes, but it's slightly more profitable at 900 gold per unit. So after my quick math, some tracking, looking through the market board, I decide to focus on crops because money. But nothing's ever that simple because the game also has this crate system where workers can convert raw materials into trade crates. These crates need to be physically delivered to NPCs around the world by yourself. So you gotta walk there, and trust me, you can't run the entire time. These things are heavy, and they take up to 10 full potatoes to make one crate. So I go on this whole discovery mission to understand how this system works. I start traveling distances and find out that doing so increases the value of the crates. But what are the sale values? So I run around to some more traders to find out. Doing some quick math, the raw materials alone are worth about 17,000 gold, so this early in the game, I'm trying to figure out how I can make a profit. Turns out you can't. It's not worth it. They only seem to sell for about 3,000 gold, which is a bad deal. But maybe sometime they'll be worth it, so I better keep an eye on this forever, because that's how my brain works. But at the very least, I now have some income. I expand a bit, I find another potato farm to use in the starter area, and now I'm rolling in hundreds of potatoes and corn cobs, and I could sell these all on the market, but, what if I turn these corns? What if I make this corn and potato stockpile into something even more profitable? What if I grind them into corn flour and potato starch? So I go there and I grind a few and I look up the selling prices, and it turns out these sell for like 4,000 gold each, which is even better. And as my processing skill improves, I become more likely to get multiple out of each grind. Now I can turn one potato into like 2 or 3 potato starch. Suddenly I'm multiplying my profit, and each of those 800 gold potatoes can now net me like 12,000 gold each. And with 30 potatoes per harvest, that's 225,000 gold per hour. Oh, and did I mention this is still the starting area of Black Desert Online. I'm 50 hours into the game, and I'm spending most of my time trying to make money for some reason. It seems like every time I pick up a new game like this, everyone else is going out there to save the world, and I'm over here making spreadsheets. It's like clockwork. I boot up a new MMO or RPG with big plans, and before I know it, I'm stuck in the weeds of crafting, gathering, and trading. The same thing happened with Final Fantasy XIV. While my friends were plowing through the content, I was logging in and adjusting my prices for the day, figuring out how the market has shifted, crafting replacements where I need to, server hopping to get cheaper materials, flipping what items I could, strategizing how to maximize profits, and generally just trying to find the next way to increase the amount of gold I'm bringing in. I can't help it. Game economies are so fascinating to me. They're like these little ecosystems where everything's connected. The resources you gather fuel crafting, the items you create flow into markets, and those markets are alive, shaped by supply and demand. It's like a world within a world. It's living, it's breathing, and I can never resist trying to figure out how it all works and how I can best take advantage of it. I have found it interesting to note that I've tried my hand at single-player economy games like X4 Foundations, for example, a game that is literally built for economy addicts like me, where you start with a tiny ship and slowly build up this sprawling trade empire complete with mining fleets and automated factories and trade routes spanning entire star systems. It's everything I should love. I should love that, but somehow it doesn't really grab me like MMO economies do. I think it's largely because in a single-player economy, you're playing against the system. There's no thrill of having enough money to outright buy an outfit that should cost real-world money or hours and hours of time in Final Fantasy. With player-driven economies, there's this sense of competition and strategy that's just kind of missing in single-player games. When I sell an item on the Final Fantasy market board, I know it's going to another real person who might have spent hours grinding for that mount. And that transaction has weight because it connects you to this community that exists, even if you don't interact directly. An X4, sure, I can sell refined goods to NPCs, but it feels hollow, really. No one is out there trying to undercut me or corner the market. The stakes are lower, the profits, even when they're enormous, just don't feel rewarding. The best comparison is probably like playing chess against a computer versus a human opponent. The moves are the same, but the excitement of outsmarting another person is really what makes it satisfying. Now this is the part of the video, after that spiel, where I would normally tell you how I expanded my potato empire into a sprawling, multi-node tycoon operation, how I diversified into other crops, refined my logistics network, and conquered the entire potato economy. But I can't. See, there's a tiny problem. And that's I can't actually unlock more nodes or progress my worker empire until hold on, let me check my notes. Play the game. It turns out to build the kind of potato empire I'm dreaming of, you have to do things like, advance the story, unlock more zones. Though I have managed to expand into, get this, chicken farming. That's right. My empire isn't just potatoes anymore. I've now diversified into the lucrative world of poultry production. Chickens, it turns out, are the next big thing in my operation, which is good because apparently they're the main ingredient and the best food for my workers. After all, it turns out you have to feed your farmers so they can grow big and strong and get better at earning me money. I don't pay them though, so I suppose I should at least feed them. Do I pay them? I might pay them. Do I? I don't know. Either way, too rich to care. Unfortunately, my trusty worker on the potato farm only ever brings back regular potatoes, which is perfectly fine for, basic profits, but it's nothing special. If I want the good stuff, the high quality potatoes, and you want high quality potatoes, or dare I dream, special grade potatoes, I have to get my hands dirty and do the farming myself, so I'm exploring that as well. Although it turns out I only have to plant the seeds and harvest them myself, I can still make workers do all the pruning and pest control, which is good because who has time for all that when you're busy calculating profit margins, discovering production trees, and figuring out which one of your workers is next on the chopping block because they don't have the right perks. But now I have to ask, Am I the only one who's like this? Do any of you find yourselves getting lost in these in-game economies and spending hours crafting a strategy while the actual story sits untouched? Or am I just the weird guy doomed forever to be looking at spreadsheets while everyone else plays the game how you're supposed to? Let me know in the comments whether you're a fellow economy addict, a dabbler. Maybe you don't trade at all. Maybe you hate trading. Are you a solo self-found kind of person? I'd love to hear your take. And, you know, maybe one day, I'll actually get around to saving the world right after I finish spending 47 minutes grinding these potatoes.